Good morning. It's November 24th. I just dropped off the car at OK Tire again, and I'm heading home, which will mean a walk up here along South Albert again, like I did a few days ago. Before dawn. Dawn is coming, but it's not here yet, so the lighting's a little more interesting than sometimes. The question is which side to walk up. I think I would have walked up this side because I'd rather walk up on Lakeside when we get further up. So even though this is the same path I followed last time I walked along here. Good morning, whoever that is. Ah, yes. Good morning, marijuana. I have to be careful because, of course, it thawed yesterday and now it's frozen again, so there's going to be a lot of ice. It's mostly crunchy ice, but I am doing fine so far, as long as I don't fall on the ice walking home here. I always like walking before dawn. You get some of the lighting. The sun is coming, but it's not here yet. So probably tomorrow I will start before dawn walking around the lake too. Because the days are still getting shorter for another 3 weeks. It's about -7 at the moment. Going up to +1. For a while they were saying tomorrow would be like +10, but now it's down to +6. And then colder air comes in next week and some more snow, I think. So we'll lose some snow, but it will be replenished. Pretty much guarantee that. Very bright sign there. Hi, Kirk in Vancouver. Sorry, my eyes aren't working well, so I'm having trouble reading the notes here. Well, it is legal here, so I should... Call yourself what you want, I guess. I presume it's not your given name. That's a rather large chunk of snow blocking the sidewalk for some reason. India House. W. All the same places I commented on last time I walked this way, which was the day I almost got hit by the guy that ran the pedestrian crosswalk. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. I thought about bringing my computer down and hanging around out at this end of town and sort of walking in the neighborhood, but I've got all this lovely coffee at home I'm going to get back to. Everything is more exciting in the twilight. Although it's getting brighter by the minute. Hello, someone else. Pindar, I think. Good morning. As we go by the co-op gas station and car wash. I spare no expense showing you the sights of Regina. There's been enough thawing that in places at least the sidewalk is nicely cleared. Of course that's also when it gets you because it looks clear and then you'll find there's a patch of ice you can't quite see until you slip on it. So I will continue to be careful. I imagine sunrise is, I don't know, 8:10 or something like that. Shortly after 8. I didn't check, sometimes I do. There's the keg, if you need a steak, which you probably don't at this time of the morning. Trying to read the notes. Yes, but vampires much prefer, and werewolves much prefer evening twilight, because morning twilight means their time is almost over. Vampires would be scrambling for cover right about now. Holiday Inn Express and the Suites. The ever popular Tim Hortons. I'm not sure why it's ever popular. It's not my favorite place by any stretch of the imagination for coffee or anything else, but look at that lineup. People getting their coffee at the drive-thru. I guess it does have a drive-thru, which not everything does. Sunrise is at 8:27. Oh, later than I thought. Well, I won't make it home before sunrise, but I'll make it a good portion of the way. Various things in there. Coming up is the Atlas Hotel. This is where I'll be performing next week. Regina Lyric Musical Theatre that I'm part of, celebrating its 45th anniversary. I've been involved for, let me think, about, I guess they're calling 77 their start, so I've been involved for 33 of those 45 years, or thereabouts. So we're doing a gala evening of music from past shows, and cash bar and appetizers. If you go to reginalyric.com, you can buy tickets. That's next Thursday here at the Atlas Hotel. I'll be singing My Heart Is So Full of You from The Most Happy Fella. And then I'm in what's called Night Waltz from A Little Night Music. The sun sinks low as it's going to go. 5 o'clock, twilight. That's the one. I'm sure you know it. If you know Sondheim, you know it. Anyway, that's here. It used to be called the Travel Lodge. It's called the Atlas. reginalyric.com. Get your tickets now. Come see me sing. I'll be sitting with the Lieutenant Governor that day at the event. I got attacked by a tree I didn't see. Buffering. I have no control over that. But that is why I posted on YouTube later. Does that mean nobody heard what I just said about buying tickets to the Regina Lyric Musical Theatre Sapphire Gala next Thursday? Go to reginalyric.com. It's nice there. Tickets are $50. You don't want to miss it. Now, if you're watching from, India or somewhere, you may not want to pay for the travel to get here, but if you're local, I miss Book and Briar. That was a bookstore to start with, and a very good one too. And I sort of miss Blockbuster. It used to be where we came to rent videos back in those days when you did that, instead of just finding out where it was streaming. I always think of this as the West Harvest Inn, but it has another name now too. Can't keep up. We will run out of the commercial district pretty soon here. And then it's, well, not exactly residential on this side. We'll go by the retirement complex. Regina Christian School. And then we're into the park, and it's all government buildings until we get back to the Crescents. I catch this light, but I probably won't because it's walk now. But it changes just before I get to the corner. Maybe not. Hang in there. If I get to the corner and it hasn't changed, I can make it across. I can make it across. Okay. Excellent. It's just down there. I almost got hit last time. There's the sun. Not the sun, but the sunlight starting to make itself known more. I had lunch in there and worked while I waited for my car last time I was down here. This is a fairly new hotel, this one. Newish, newer than others. There's the Golden Mile, or I don't think they call it that anymore either. It's called something else. Still think of it as the Golden Mile. Used to be more of a mall than it is now. Vacant lot's been vacant for a long time. Don't remember what was there anymore. See a little pink starting to show up in the clouds up ahead of us as the sun gets closer and closer to the horizon. Over to my right. Western Pizza. Been in there for many a post-show party. It was a favorite of some of the organizers of that sort of thing at one point. Next is a co-op grocery store that's under extensive renovation. Well, first there's a Robin's Donuts and other things, but next big building up there is the grocery store, and that kind of marks the end of the commercial strip here. Again, this smart centers they call this, but it'll always be the Golden Mile to me. There's an Original Joe's over there. I haven't been in there too often. When they built it, our daughter was a teenager and wasn't allowed in. And that tended to make us not go places. And once you get in the habit of not going somewhere, you don't go there. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's extensive. See, it turns residential over there. Over here is the retirement complex I'm talking about, have talked about, which is where used to be a school there, I think, Marion. And there's the grocery store that's being worked on. It's like the pharmacy is still open, but the store itself is a long way from reopening. Kids heading to the high school, which is just down there, a short distance. The boldest, I guess that is. We just got off the city bus here. Perfect, we hit this one just right too. Yes, Marion Gardens. It's called Marion because there used to be a girls' school here called Marion. I believe. It's a little icy. We continue our northward trek along Albert Street. That's the bus stop, frosted up. Get a lot of frost on these mornings after it gets above freezing and then drops again at night. I did finally take the Halloween decorations, such as they were. It was just some, crime scene tape off the front of the house. Yay me. There's still a frozen pumpkin sitting out there I need to throw in the garbage. It froze before it molded this year, so it's probably not molded. Still sitting there, frozen, jack-o'-lantern. I've walked down in that area, around that before. Rivera is the big company that owns a bunch of these things. Never a good sign at a retirement place when there's an ambulance sitting out front in the morning, which is what's under there now, considering the age of the people there. Oh, jogger. Very long beard. You couldn't see that, but I did. I will move away from Albert Street once we get across one more corner up here. Walk down by the government buildings, down to the lake. Up next is the school ground for Regina Christian Schools. Which is an old building that also started as a different, I think it was a boys' school or a theological seminary maybe. Not 100% sure. Someone told me, but it didn't stick in my head. Anyway, they have a big open grounds here. I presume all belongs to the school. Big playground. Some kids way over in the distance. The sky keeps changing color over there as sunrise approaches. Oh, I smell wood smoke. Somebody's got their fireplace going, an actual wood fireplace. We should still be about 12 minutes away from sunrise. You can see from all the footprints that the kids come out here and play in this part of the playground. It's all torn up. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this isn't part of the school, because there's the fence. Maybe this is just parkland. I would think the fence marks the school perimeter. Okay. I believe I was overestimating how much of that was school property. Still carefully watching my footing here. There's the school. As you can see, it's an old building. I've never been in there, which is unusual. I've been in a lot of schools because of doing readings and things, but I don't believe I have ever been through the front doors of this building. Alice had a friend who went here, so she might have been in there for, I think she went to see one of their shows, musicals, but I've never been in there. Silent. Like everybody else, they have a video sign now. check them out, reginachristianschool.org. Coming up next will be the Mackenzie Art Gallery, at which point I think we're about 20 minutes from home. I probably won't walk back to get the car. I'll probably take a taxi. There's another ambulance. I could, of course, do 2 walks today because I didn't do one yesterday. It wouldn't be unreasonable, but it's probably a left turn signal I have to wait for. Indeed. I've had no messages since somebody said buffering, so I hope the feed stayed up on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Now I will go down to the right and get away from Albert here a bit. Mackenzie Art Gallery dead ahead. Also, well, it's the T.C. Douglas building, so it's a government office building, but the Mackenzie Art Gallery is part of it. And that's the main reason we go there, so I always think of it as the Mackenzie. They do have like this wing over here is them. And I've performed in their little theater and directed more than one show in there, 2 of which I wrote. You can see some Fafard cows here standing in the cold. They're bronze, so it won't bother them too much. They look good in the snow. And this is kind of the main approach to the Mackenzie here. As the sun continues to approach the horizon over there. Well, of course, it's actually the Earth is tilting toward it, turning toward it. The sun's not doing anything, but it's all relative. I guess we'll go all the way up here to the front. See the sign, T.C. Douglas building. And then up there it says over the Mackenzie Art Gallery, and then it says, as long as the sun shines, the river flows and the grass grows, which is the terminology used in the treaties. We're in Treaty 4 territory with the local First Nations. I smell food. Oh yeah, I always forget, there's actually a coffee shop kind of place in the Mackenzie, which I could come to sometime and work, but I don't usually think of it. Can't remember what it's called, craft services or something like that, which is the term they use in movie sets. And another government building coming up. That's the Lloyd building, I think. Named after a former premier, just like the T.C. Douglas building here. The sky is continuing to brighten. Sunrise now only about 4 minutes away, although it'll be behind trees and stuff to begin with. You can see where it's going to pop up. It'll be behind me and to my right as I continue to walk north. Good look at the T.C. Douglas building there. Sniffles. This building I've been in, the environment department is in there, and I did some writing for them, or editing for them on a big website for, oh, what was it about? Boreal forest, I think. Been a while. Anyway, so I was up there a few times during that project. Nice clear sidewalk along here at least. Scenic parking lot. Lloyd Place, that's what it's called. Probably built in the 60s, possibly even the 50s, probably the 60s. The next one is older, it comes up, and it's probably built in the 40s or 50s. I would say 40s actually. Maybe the 30s, but I don't think it's quite that old. But again, I don't really know. I'd have to do some research. Even though I wrote a book called Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw, I don't believe I came down here in the book. None of those walks actually brought you by these buildings. They're mostly the ones designed by Heritage Regina, and I adapted them for my book. I won an award for that book. City of Regina Heritage Award. Nice big certificate. Presented to me at a meeting of City Council back when Pat Fiacco was the mayor. I was supposed to do one for Saskatoon too, but I bailed on it because I didn't have the information I needed, and I just couldn't justify the work for the return. And of course the book I wrote is now several years old and quite out of date because a lot of the buildings that were on the walks have been torn down. Quite a number. But you can still get the book if you look for it, I think. It was published by Red Deer Press. I don't know that there's ever an ebook version. I don't think there was. I find the contract. I wonder if I still have the ebook rights. I could put it out as an ebook. I probably don't. Wonder if I could get them. Interesting thought. Do an updated version. I'd have to do all the walks again and see what has disappeared since then. I took photos of every building in the books too. It's kind of cool. You only use some of them. And I always thought I'd put those online, but I never did. Time. I have many great ideas for what I could do, but time slips away. And there's only so much you can do in any one day. It's the Walter Scott building, this one, named after the first premier. And I would again guess 40s for this one. Maybe 30s. I don't know if it has a date on it. It has the coat of arms up there, but I don't see a date anywhere. Of course, this modern entrance to it was to make it more accessible. We are a government town. And of course, we're getting closer and closer to the legislative building, so that's one reason there's so many government offices along here. You can see the dome over there now, the ledge, poking up through the trees as the sun comes up. It should be up. First place we should see it is on the dome up there. Oh yeah, sun's up. You can see it on the dome now that I can see it better through the trees. Actually, it's probably been up for a minute or two. Yeah, and you can see it's starting to show up at the tops of the trees. Will be the next place. Yes, you can see there, sunshine on the dome of the legislature. We're getting pretty close now. I'll cross Albert up here, go down the other side on the bridge, I think. If I had a tale that I could tell you. There's no sidewalk here for some reason. You have to walk on the road to get past this next chunk, or else walk in the snow. Anyway, here's the ledge with the sun shining on it. It's easier to walk on the road than on that little path there. Might as well cross over, because I'm going to turn left up here and go over to Albert and see if I can get across either here, or I'll go up another block to the bridge. Of course, tomorrow I will be walking around the lake first thing. There's the west wing of the ledge, the west wing. And we have the Provincial War Memorial up here on our left. The cenotaph downtown is the City Memorial. This is the actual Provincial War Memorial here. Names of people who gave their lives. First World War over there, and I believe this is the Second World War here. Still a wreath there for Remembrance Day. And then, of course, other conflicts are represented there as well. I could jaywalk at this point. Looking back, you can see the light shining through the windows on the dome up there. Now, this is probably a long light here. I think I will carry on down to the bridge because that one changes more frequently. Haven't slipped yet today, so certainly plenty of opportunities. You can tell by looking at the sidewalk. There are slippery sections. And there's the lake. We'll see it tomorrow at about this time, as the sun's coming up. Albert Street Bridge, sometimes called the longest bridge over the shortest body of water. I don't think that's an actual Guinness Book of World Records category, but it'd be there if that were. No matter when you get to Albert Street, you always seem to have to wait. Looking on north, Albert Street, of course, is the main north-south drag through the city. Takes you right through Highway 11, I guess it is? Or is it? I don't remember. I just know which one to take. Now, you can't actually walk down the bridge on this side. You have to go around the corner here. And go up this way. Along the balustrade, or you can walk. Technically, this isn't a path, but it's been beaten down right now. You're actually supposed to walk along the road and then you go up steps over here, but this works since it's been well trod. Uneven though. Rotary Park there. Won't go into that today. Oh, now we'll go over the bridge. There's the sun just poking up over there. That's not east this time of year. That's quite far southeast. Due east would be that direction. If you point it due east, you don't even see the sun. You have to point it quite a bit south to pick it up. I'll take a look at the creek here, but I don't think we'll see any open water. Or birds, like you sometimes do in the summer. Yeah, ice. No open water. Lots of bird tracks. There's the Provincial Crest again. Yeah, if we step out here, you can look down and see it's all frozen. And those look like goose tracks in the snow. And if you go up that way, you'll come to the footbridge. I cross over every time I walk along the creek. Almost every time. There, the sun is fully up now. I said, this neighborhood's called Lakeview, but these are about the only houses that actually have a lake view. Just those two, really. 3, maybe. Question I keep asking myself is, since most of my live stream views are on YouTube, I'll occasionally get somebody on Facebook. I could, of course, start streaming on YouTube only at 1080, except I'd probably run through my data and get throttled back, and it might buffer, I don't know. I'll try it one day, just to see. I mean, I could, of course, record in 4K, but my phone has not as much memory as I probably should have put in it. I'm worried it might actually fill up while I was doing that. And I don't really think it's necessary. 4K slow motion. A 45-minute walk would take hours. Coffee waiting for me when I get home. And then I got lots of things to do. Still some publishing stuff, but writing stuff I have to get on now. I've been kind of trying to get a bunch of publishing stuff out of the way so I can concentrate on writing. So I have a couple of projects that need to get going, need to have already gotten going and haven't yet. Oh, but I will do what I can. Still have publishing stuff to worry about today. There's one book I published I'm going to unpublish and give the rights to the author who wants to be take it over as self-publisher, which is fine with me, but there's some work involved in making that happen. I'm going to help her get that set up. Through the alley, Davin School dead ahead. Turn the corner, I'll be in my Crescent. I haven't eaten anything either. That's why I feel hungry. Did the walk without having eaten anything for breakfast. So I will get some food when I get in the house too. Almost there. Almost there. Bonus points for anybody that recognized that as a science fiction reference. Movie. Famous movie. Give up. Star Wars. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you for walking with me. If you did, thank you for watching the replay, if that's where you're seeing this. And yeah, I should be back tomorrow to go around the lake.